Hi Sarah, right away one of the first things I notice is that you don't mention the director's name in the title of your paper, so you need to be sure that you do that. The title should completely reflect the entire content of your essay. Um, I think you do a pretty good job of setting up what it is you plan to discuss in your paper. The only thing is you might want to make your theme a little more clear, and I think perhaps that might need to be taken care of in the title as well. What is it exactly that you see as the theme? In other words, these emotional battles through the camera shots and the lighting and the acting. What is the significance of those? Like, um, why do they matter in the big context, in the broader context of the film? And you can also think of it this way: why would you want the viewer of this film to pay close attention to these emotional battles and physical battles? What is it that's so important and relevant about them, in your opinion? And try to express that in. One of the things that I notice about your first few paragraphs is that um, I don't see how they specifically show something about a particular theme and how they reveal something about a particular theme. So that goes back to what I was saying about your opening paragraph. You need to have a very clear theme that you've identified in the intro, and you need to explain why you think that particular theme is important throughout the scene and also in the broader context of the film. Now that's something you need to touch upon in the intro, and even if you want to, you could also maybe elaborate upon that maybe in the first body paragraph if you want. It's not necessary perhaps, but it's something that you could do if you wanted to. But what you're going to have to do is make that clear in the intro, that when you go into the discussion of each of these items in each paragraph, that you can make it clear how each of these items in each body paragraph relates back to that theme you've identified in the intro. I don't think these body paragraphs completely do that. I think you've got some good ideas in these. It's just I don't see how they're completely related back to an idea you've identified in your introduction as far as a claim goes. Having looked now at the remainder of your body paragraphs, I'd say my earlier comments about the early body paragraphs is true of those later ones as well. While I think you do seem to analyze different film elements of your film, I don't see how they're completely connected back to a claim that you've identified in your opening paragraph, and that's a problem. Everything that you show us in the body must be related to the claim you've identified in the opening paragraph, and I don't see how that's occurring here, so you need to make sure that you do that. So whatever theme you've identified in the introduction, each example that you show us in the body has to be connected to that somehow, and you need to make that clear about what that connection is. So let's just read through your conclusion as well. The film Daybreakers, directed by the Spierig brothers, is one of continuous battles, whether it is physical or emotional. No matter what happens or what the characters are faced with, they never stop fighting for their beliefs. Their attempt to destroy the blood monopoly by sharing the cure to being a vampire is more important in their minds than the lives of those of their loved ones. Like any hero worth his salt, they eventually win out in the end and conquer the bad vampires through trial and torment. All the battles they experience can be seen through various ways. The director really depended on the use of certain camera angles to convey ideas as well as symbols, a little lighting, a lot of different gory sounds, the set design, and the acting and expressions of the characters. These elements come together to form the bonds of family, friends, and loved ones who fight beside each other and for each other, sometimes dying for each other. This is pretty good, except for the last paragraph seems a little awkward, and again, I'm not completely clear what your claim is. You seem to be talking about continuous battles and battles, and you also seem to emphasize the bonds of family, friends, and loved ones. So how can you take these ideas of bonds of family, friends, and battles and reduce this down to a theme that is one word? And how can you focus on that one word throughout, or that one idea throughout the entire essay. In other words, you just need to make those connections a little bit stronger. I think overall you've got a good first draft here and you got a good start, but now what you want to focus on in the revision is making these connections stronger and more clear.